Welcome to the main events of Italian diplomatic activity abroad. There is no plan for Italian participation in any multifunctional force that may be deployed on Ukrainian territory, while options for monitoring and training outside Ukraine's border are being evaluated. But only once hostilities have ceased. This was stated by Palazzo Chigi following the meeting convened on 28th of October by Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni to assess the possible path toward negotiation for peace in Ukraine after the recent talks at the White House. The meeting was attended by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Antonio Tajani, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Infrastructure Matteo Salvini, and Minister of Defense Guido Crosetto. On the same day, the first cabinet meeting after the summer's recess was held, during which the reform of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was approved. As Minister Tajani explained at the press conference, a General Directorate for Growth has been established, which will serve as a point of reference for all businesses, and will have the task of strengthening Italian exports. No General Directorate dedicated to cybersecurity has also been created to ensure greater protection of all sensitive information within our ministry, added Tajani. We will soon inaugurate a cyber room where the public will be able to experience firsthand our commitment to issues such as AI, new technologies, and the fight against disinformation. The previous day, the Farnesina's Tariff Task Force intervened to safeguard Italian goods against possible misinterpretations of the transatlantic trade agreement. In particular, some US customs officials reportedly requested higher tariffs than those set in the EU-US joint declaration for the import of Italian products such as Grana Padano and Parmigiano Reggiano. We will protect our companies, our workers and our excellence using every tool available, stated Tajani, noting that the task force is in constant contact with the Italian Customs and Monopolies Agency for technical coordination. On 29 of August, Minister Tajani traveled to Denmark to attend the informal meeting of the EU Foreign Affairs Council. He also met Italian companies operating in Denmark and Danish companies with investment in Italy at the residence of Italian ambassador. In the first quarter of 2025, bilateral trade, which exceeded €7 billion in 2024, grew by around 12%, with Italian exports to Denmark up 15.3%. The EU Informal Council focused on the war in Ukraine, the first meeting of all 27 members after the Anchorage and Washington summit, and on a possible use of frozen Russian assets, as well as the situation in the Middle East. The crisis in the Middle East was at the center of the meeting held on 28 of August at the Farnesina between Minister Tajani and the Saudi Minister of Foreign Affairs, Prince Faisal bin Farah Al Saud. On the Gaza crisis, the two ministers signed a joint declaration in which Italy and Saudi Arabia call for the immediate release of hostages, access for humanitarian aid, and condemned any unilateral or violent actions in the West Bank that undermine the two-state solution. Recall Italy's active participation in the New York Conference on the two-state solution promoted by Saudi Arabia and France. Tajani confirmed Italy's readiness to work on a plan for governance on security in Gaza centered on the Palestinian Authority, as well as reconstruction efforts. At the Italian Cultural Institute in San Francisco, the design exhibition Tools for After, curated by architect Maurizio Corrado and conceived by Angelo Gioè, is open until 15 of September 2025. Organized within the San Francisco Design Week, the exhibition features objects, images, and video focusing on innovation in Italian design culture. The project debuted in Melbourne and later traveled to Beirut, Sofia, and Belgrade. At the Italian Cultural Institute of Oslo, Ambassador Stefano Nicoletti inaugurated Sailors by Corinna Del Bianco. This new chapter in the Italian photographer's research on island territories documents the past and recent history of several islands in the Oslo Fjord, exploring the relationship between humans and nature from the late 19th century to the present day. And that's all for now. Thank you for your attention and stay tuned.